Welcome to QuantaCast 4. Feels like it was just QuantaCast 3 yesterday. It's good to have Stacey Jones, our CEO, with us, and Chris Carrigan, our head of property investment. I often stumble on the property investment. So we're going to have a bit of a chat today about another great upcoming investment opportunity for all of our investor pool and new investors to the market. We've got a Launceston CBD asset under our control. So, Chris, why don't I just throw straight over to you? Tell me all the great things, and tell Stacey, even though we know, all the great things about this upcoming opportunity.
Yeah, so Launceston CBD LFR asset, that's large format retail. Very excited about it. We've managed to secure it at a really good price, which is offering distributions that are really compelling. So we're coming out again at 8% distributions to investors, and it's 4.5 year whale to just household names, BCF, Supercheap Auto, Beacon Lighting, and they're doing really well. They're performing strongly. The property's 100% occupied. Launceston's a market we really like because for both office and retail, because it's an undersupplied market in both of those sectors. Rents generally around there are too low to feasibly develop new product, so there isn't a lot of new competition, and the market's typically undersupplied in both retail and office down there. So we're really pleased to bring this opportunity to investors, and think it's a really compelling one that we'll invest alongside our investors with.
Great. And it's an interesting place, Tasmania, because it's become a really popular destination. I think Launceston's got best part of 70,000 people. It's a market we haven't dabbled in, Stacey, or a region, should I say, or location we haven't dabbled in previously. How you being with your long history of property law, the team, they've got a few different things to look at with what's happening in Tasmania and the legislation or whatever is associated.
Yeah, fortunately, the Tasmanian jurisdiction isn't too different. As we've experienced before, the first time we went into Western Australia, it was like buying a property in another country. The way some of their laws work, Tasmania is pretty friendly to us in terms of what we're used to seeing. So all of that's pretty straightforward. But we do have a firm in Tasmania that are assisting us from a jurisdictional perspective on that. Okay,
great. Just ease the transactions. Chris, do you think if we we go ahead and acquire that property, and as you said, 8% is fantastic. It's we found out with 157 is very appealing as a net distribution. Would it be somewhere we might then play in a little bit more in Tasmania if we sort of? I know that in the past we've kind of built up on regions, but you've looked at a few things, I think, in Tasmania over the last sort of 3 or 4 months. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we have, and we've been growing our contact network down there of agents and consultants and authorities, and we think it's a really good market.
So the large format retail sector, particularly through COVID, correct me if I'm wrong, it had some really, really strong results, just from a profit point of view. So that still remains in the performance down there.
Two of the tenants there, BCF and Supercheap Auto, are owned by Super Retail Group. That's publicly listed. You can have a look at their annual report and see how well they've been doing. It's definitely a category that's profited and got that sort of COVID bump in sort of organisational performance. Yeah,
and continues to do so. Stacey, throughout the time of you being involved with the business, there's been we've had a fund similar to that in the previously that you've done a lot of work on. What's been your experience with the performance of those type of assets over the time?
Look, all of the large format retail assets that we've dealt with over the history of the business have performed really well. The tenants are typically very sticky, and where for whatever reason business requirements see them leave, you've normally got a few ready to jump right in. So it's been a sector traditionally for us where we've had low vacancy and low downtime, and that was continued to be the case through COVID as well. We had some centres that were affected as a whole, but they were from other tenants within that. So, for example, there was a swim school or a gym or something else that sort of saw a closure, whereas those tenants continued to trade really well, both in-store and online.
This particular investment in Tasmania is another closed-ended fund, Stacey, is that correct?
Yes. So, as was the case with Ann Street, investor feedback had been really strong in the lead up to that investors want some more options. So it's going to be a case of horses for courses for us, what we do, and this one lends itself really well to just a closed-ended single asset fund. So that's what we're putting in place for this one. Doesn't mean that's going to be the case for everything moving forward, but certainly it's for this one.
Another opportunity. And Chris, if you just look at the sort of investment horizon for this particular asset, same kind of thing, would you, or 3 to 5 years, or are you thinking it'll run the term of the trust around 7 years?
So look, the WALE of the asset's 4.4 years, so we need 5 years to be able to reset all the leases and maximise the value of the property. So it'd be imprudent to look at a sale prior to that opportunity. So we're looking at 5 year, and then once that's done, a liquidity event. Once that value has been extracted.
Okay. So Chris, we're in the due diligence phase at the moment. There'll be an IM that's currently being prepared.
That'll detail everything. That's all the opportunities and income details and lease details and the key risks associated with the purchase. If you've seen one of our IMs before, it'll follow a similar format.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for being with us again today, Stacey.
Thanks, Tim.
And likewise, Chris, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone for watching today. You'll see in the email there's an opportunity for to register your expression of interest, and following that registration, we'll provide you the IM with further details.